Coming through, we had obviously chats with Simon Bell, who was one of the scouts, and you get a letter. I got my letter through when I was, 14, and like it was like, this is the big thing. Like, what club's would like me? And I got the choice of 3, and I saw Leeds Rhinos on there, and it was like a dream come true for me.
I just remember this chubby kid coming in, and I'm kind of thinking he needs to run the footy a little bit more. He played a bit like a 6 or a ball handling 13, and we just needed to kind of work on, 1, his physical state, but 2, just getting the balance between his running game and his playing game. And that potentially probably took 12 months, unless he got his body right, and he could move and he could get off the floor, which he wasn't great with in those early stages. Unless he did that, I didn't really envisage, while he had the skill set and the mentality, but physically his body couldn't cash what his mind wanted to do in those early stages.
Captain the scholarship in my second year, but sat me down and told me at the start of the year that we were going to be captain, and it was sort of like a big step for me. Like, I get to captain my hometown club, even though it's under 16s. I felt that massive responsibility on my shoulders, and I really enjoyed it.
Tom's a wonderful footballer. I think people don't really appreciate the fact that he can play football. The kid, he's got a good pair of hands on him, and he's more to than just straight up carries. He's a smart footballer. He understands the game for somebody so young, and he's a tough kid. And I'm really proud of what he's done, because he's had to go away and kind of rebuild his body, rebuild his movement patterns, and he's had some injuries thrown in there. I think he's the longest serving player that in regards to how long it took him to get a first team debut from when he started. So again, that shows the character and resilience of him.
Coming through at 16 to go into the academy, before I went up, I was sort of banging on the door. I knew I thought I was ready for that jump, and it is such a big jump. Going from the scholarship to the academy, I remember coming in and training, and I was like, wow, like this is a whole new level. I'd gone from captaining the scholarship, getting picked every week, starting, and I thought I'd do that in the academy as well, and I wasn't even in the squad. So at the start of the year, like, it was such a massive shock, and another lifting standard and expectation that I was ready for, but I was sort of a bit naive to it.
I'd known Tom from previous bits that I'd done with the foundation, and coached him, and his attitude is second to none. At the time, he was very mature for his age, in the way that he wanted to play and the way he wanted to approach the game. He just had a real bad run with injuries, and I really felt for him, because I always knew that the potential was there. He just needed to get a good run of health, really, and then COVID come, so his development was hindered again, and then he had a long-term shoulder injury. But fair play to him, he's been really persistent with learning and wanting to get better.
Yeah, we're aware of Tom, going back a fair few years, from when he was playing at Stanley, so I knew, that he was a good rugby league player. I think one of the standout features for Tom is how hard he worked here, but how he also supplemented, his rugby alongside, working. I think he was working at a supermarket. I'm not sure if it was Morrison's, and he was doing a lot of work there, on an evening, as well as, his education, and got to compliment him on that, and how he made that triangle work, is a real credit to him.
I was playing reserves, and I didn't know what I was going to do at the end of the year. So I sort of needed to put myself in the shop window a little bit, just because I was unaware of if I'd be staying here or if I'd have to find a new club. So I put myself in the shop window and played some championship and really kicked on. It was just the last game at Castle, and we'd come off 2 really tough losses against Wigan and Catalans. And, I got Rowan grabbed me and said, I'm going to be playing this week. And it was like, wow, like, where has this actually come from? Like, I didn't know whether I was staying at the club like 3 weeks ago, and then next minute I'm playing for my hometown club at Headingley, against Cass. Like, it's like a dream come true, and I didn't really know what to say. I was just like nodding. I was like, oh yeah, sick, like brilliant. So we sat down and we sort of just got going. I was like, I don't really have a shirt here. Like, I don't know whether to say anything. And Cookie sat us all down, and Manny Alfie's parents came in, and it was really emotional for me to see my mum and dad there. And my dad spoke, and it was really rewarding to see how much it meant to them as well as how much it meant to me. That was really rewarding and quite emotional at the time as well. Yeah, our family said in the changing rooms before, we don't have a bad game if it's not for me and Edge, and that sort of stuck with me. And then I remember getting the nod to Rich Hunix, called me up and said, "Are you going on now?" So I was like, massive adrenaline rush, coming on for Leeds against Cass in front of 15,000 fans. It was like, what do I do? Run on. And I'd Corey Johnson seen me, and he was just like, "Oh, I'll give you the ball." Took my first carry, and then it was just like any other game, got into it, got stuck in, and we managed to come away with a big win as well, which was a good way to end the season.
Just really excited for Tom. He's been on a journey, and everybody's journeys are different. Some people can kind of get there straight away and really lucky, but other people have to kind of stick in there, go through the ups and downs, see the game from various sides, and Tom's done that, and I think it's made him a more complete player, if that makes sense, because he's seen other clubs, he's seen what it's about, he's been out of the bubble that is Leeds Rhinos, and I just think it completes him as a player. He's still a young kid, still got a long way to go, but he's certainly a player for the future, I think, definitely, yeah.
He's not the biggest, nor is he the most athletic, but he's found a niche there to be able to contribute, and that is he can play with decent balance. Like he'll carry on the hard yards, but he can play the plays, and he's willing to tidy up and work for them bigger middles defensively, and it's a decent position to be in when you have some big men around you. At times they get tired, and as long as you've got an engine on you and you're willing to work, then, and I think Tom's really owned into that bit of that repeat effort stuff and being able to do stuff for the team.
Goes from Bull, Simon Bell, Woody, then you're coming through, you look at Chev and Casper and Ant Moore that used to be here, was our S&C coach. He was massive for me and massive through my injury, and then getting that nod to play first team. It's like, everyone that's put so much effort into me becoming a senior player, like it's not just rewarding for me, it'll be rewarding for them, and seeing what the club is producing at the minute, the lads are coming through, it's so exciting to see lads that were once my age and they're so much better than I was. It's rewarding, but it's scary, the guys that are coming through now, what the club's going to be like in 5-6 years. It's exciting.